Good morning, everyone. I hope you had a pleasant evening yesterday. We had a long day discussing on the topics that we have set for ourselves for the plenary conference. And it was a wonderful and productive discussion we have had on the topic of inclusion of the Northeast region in the India-ASEAN vision for trade and cooperation. Today, we have another very important topic for discussion, that is merging the Ministry of Donor with the NEC for better strategic planning and coordination of various projects in the region. I'm sure all distinguished delegates and honored guests will have a very fruitful and productive and meaningful deliberation and discussion on the topic that is set for us for the second day. We are also very pleased and extremely grateful for the presence of our Honorable Deputy Chairman of the Rajya Sabha, Honorable Shri Harivanshji. His insight, his experience and his knowledge speaks volumes of his stature among colleagues in the Parliament, and we are really happy to have your presence here with us today, sir. So before we start with the topic that is set for us, I would like to request and give time to our Honorable Deputy Chairman of the Rajya Sabha, Shri Harivanshji, for his remarks.
Good morning to you all. Honorable Speaker Nagaland, Chairman CPA India Region Zone 3rd, Sri Serene Gain Long Kumer Ji, Honorable Speaker Mizoram Legislative Assembly, Honorable Lalbiyad Kajamma Ji, Honorable Presiding Officers and members of various state legislative assemblies, respected dignitaries and ladies and gentlemen. Yesterday we all had a very fruitful discussion. Many members highlighted insightful points and gave valuable suggestions on the path towards better regional integration, as I have been updated and told. The session today is equally important in improving the efficiency of planning and implementation of policies for Northeast. The Constitution has a separate provision for protection of indigenous tribal groups and safeguarding native rights in the Northeast under Article 371 and the 6th Schedule. These provisions of the Constitution have protected the interest of the region to a great extent. However, challenges of development persist, which makes it imperative for deliberations to take place in forums as this so that the region does not lag behind as India dreams of becoming Atmanirbhar and Viksit Bharat, which can only be realized when we have an Atmanirbhar Northeast. The evolution of policy implementation in this region has also undergone a radical change over the last 5 decades. The region faces several challenges such as rough geographical terrain, resource constraints, maintaining the ecology, and in recent times it has also seen climate change issues as well. With changing times, our governance approach must also evolve, and I believe it is the essence of today's discussion. In this age of technology and fast-paced development, governance too is becoming more complex. And it is essential to have a debate at regular intervals on finding on the best path ahead, which Northeast this group does oftenly. The Northeastern Council was established under the Northeastern Council Act 1971 as an apex-level advisory body. Over the years, NEC has done a remarkable job in building several regional institutes, extending financial assistance to different sectors in the region, among others. It is not just the Northeastern Council, there are several other bodies that are key agents of policy planning in this region, such as Northeast Development Finance Corporation, Northeastern Regional Agricultural Marketing Corporation, Handicrafts and Handlooms Development Corporation Limited, Community Resource Management Society, among few others. There is no doubt that it is important to ensure more synergy and cooperation among all bodies, to ensure that the policies and budgets planned at the highest levels are implemented at the ground level in the letter and spirit. The Lookist policy initiated by the Government of India and Honorable Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi ji is an effort to cultivate economic and strategic relations with the nations of Southeast Asia, marked a strategic shift in India's international relations. The Lookist policy was rigorously pursued by this government. During this period, Government of India created a separate ministry, that is the Ministry for Development of Northeastern Region in 2001, for speedy development of Northeastern region. Under the visionary leadership of Honorable Prime Minister of India, Sri Narendra Modi, Lookist policy has been thoroughly overhauled so as to ensure action-oriented and outcome-based policy, which is now called as India's Act-East policy. Honorable Prime Minister has given the vision of 4 C's, that's culture, commerce, connectivity and capacity building in the Northeastern region. It is with the intention of holistic and all-round development, the Union Government launched the PM Divine in 2022. Since inception in October 2022 and up to 24/7/2024, total 31 projects worth 4,502.46 crore have been sanctioned under PM Divine scheme against the approved outlay. These are aimed at building infrastructure, social development projects, provide livelihoods for youth and women. A lot of development has happened in the region and there is a long journey ahead as well. It's important to ensure that these budgets are more efficiently spent and hence synergy across departments and ministries is of utmost importance. Apart from union and state governments, this region has also several autonomous councils as well. It's imperative that the governance of today is more proactive and responsive to the needs of the people. Use of more digital governance tools, accurate measurement of different socio-economic indicators are important for better budgetary allocation. In 2021-22, the donor ministry along with the Niti Aayog also prepared a district-wise SDGs, Sustainable Development Goal Index, ranking 103 out of 120 districts in the region. Better data and information from the grassroots will also help to improve the quality of governance. People of the region now have an ambitious vision. They aspire to see their region emerge peaceful, strong, confident, and ready to engage with the global economy. They also aspire to march on the path of economic, social, and cultural progress, participate in the governance. And I hope by deliberations of such workshops and debates, it will help towards that. I am again very grateful personally to the Mizoram government, Honorable Speaker, and all staff and members for excellent arrangement and hostility and a nice discussion here. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Sincere thanks to Honorable Deputy Chairman of the Rajya Sabha, Honorable Sri Harivanshi, for your insightful views on the topic that is going to be discussed today in the plenary session of the conference. As mentioned by Honorable Deputy Chairman of the Rajya Sabha, the NEC, the Northeast Council, was established in 1971 to address specific developmental needs of the region, in light of which the necessity to have a separate ministry for the Northeast arose to further bolster the region's growth and got established in the year 2001. And so, over the last many decades, so many important and pertinent development activities have been undertaken under NEC and the donor. And so, the plenary discussion is for the two entities. The functioning and strategic planning requires review and re-examination over the years as it unfolded in the last two financial years and has become a matter of concern for the Northeast region. And such delays in strategic planning becomes tantamount and adversely impacts on the unpredictable progress of the region. And so, in that regard, the discussion on the topic of merging the Ministry of Donor and NEC for better strategic planning and coordination of various projects in the region have been earmarked for the plenary conference. So I have received a list of participants to discuss from the delegates to discuss on the topic that we have, while appreciating the generosity and the symbolic gestures and the efforts made by the central government towards the Northeast region with regard to the Look East policy, the Lakshmi Astha policy, as well as the generous outpour of funds into PM Divine and various other agencies that have been, central government agencies that have been funding various projects in the Northeast region. I hope the discussion today will be productive for the region and help us to come to a conclusion. So, to start with the discussion that we have earmarked, I would like to give time to Honorable Srimati Kalyani Saha Roy, Chief Whip, Tripura State.
Namaskar. Good morning, everybody. Honorable Chairman, CPA India Region Zone 3, Honorable Speaker Nagaland C. Sharangin Langkumarji, Honorable Speaker Mizoram Lalbiag Zamaji, Honorable Deputy Chairman Rajya Sabha C. Harivansh Narayan Singh Ji, Honorable Speakers of the Northeast States, Honorable Deputy Speakers, Honorable Members, honorable secretaries and other dignitaries present in the August gathering, Namaskar everyone. First of all, I would like to convey my heartiest gratitude to all the dignitaries in this August gathering. I also extend my warm greeting to all of you from the people of Tripura. I bring warm greeting from the people of Tripura through our beloved dynamic Chief Minister, Professor Dr. Manik Sahaji, who instructed me to convey special greetings to all of you and wishes us a total success in our deliberations. It is a matter of great pleasure to be here with you all to deliver my speech on this occasion of the 21st Annual Conference of CPA India Region Zone 3 at Aizawl, Mizoram. Sir, it is always a being thrilling experience whenever I visited this beautiful state. The mesmerizing natural beauty of Aizawl is no doubt of a lifetime experience, along with the discipline observed by the people of obeying the traffic system. Now let me focus on the topic, which is merging the Ministry of Donor with NEC for better strategic planning and coordination of various projects in the region. The significance of inclusion of such topics in this conference is appreciable. It is mostly in post-independent India that the need of economic and social growth of Northeast India was seriously taken into consideration. It was in this notion that NEC was established under the Northeastern Council Act 1971, which was passed by the Parliament of India. We need to focus. Department of Donor was established in the year 2001, and it caters to the needs of the 8 northeastern states of India, which our beloved Prime Minister considered as Ashtal Lakshmi. Though the donor and NEC are organizationally different, both have the same person, who is both the donor minister and ex officio chairman of NEC to lead. So both the donor and NEC having separate entity, but working to the same dimension and spirit, that is overall development of northeastern states. Destination Northeast India are essentially to attract the world towards the region. But in today's 21st century world economy, it must include and also mean more investments, minds and energies towards the region and for promoting economic growth and development of the people of the region, along with the region's human resources development. I also recall the speech of the then donor minister, Sir Jitendra Singh Ji, when he said, Singh's speech by launching the Destination Northeast 2016, when he said that I personally don't subscribe to the idea of bringing Northeast closer to mainstream India, but rather the rest of India needs to be brought closer to Northeast. This was the mindset of the then minister, which itself speaks louder than any other assurance of development funds for Northeastern region. Sir, our Northeastern region is culturally and socially rich, and therefore if we fail to have robust the sustainable development, we may lose the soul of this soil, that is the culture of Northeast India. It is necessary to understand that Northeastern India is very important for the aim of sustainability. This region is not just about mesmerizing landscapes, it is important for multidimensional human civilization also. The Ministry of Donor and NEC should involve at all levels of decision making with regard to planning and proper implementation strategies to combat with situation which is now prevailing in the Northeast. We need to focus on unnecessary overlapping of responsibilities between NEC and donor secretaries, as such overlapping of responsibilities leads to not only confusion among the departments, but also delays in effective implementation of policies and programs sanctioned for faster economic development of the region. With the formation of Niti Aayog, entire Northeast lose the status of special category state. So we are hopeful that Niti Aayog will provide adequate measures for proper implementation of Look East policy as indicated by our beloved Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi ji. To him, Look East policy is now Act Northeast policy. For the truer way of making destination Northeast a grand success, the people of the region must be one of the significant stakeholders, not only as a cultural performer on the stage of an event, in commerce, trade and business too. So a bigger question arises here whether NEC go to Delhi while donor shifts to Shillong. Sir, the Look East policy has given us enormous opportunity for overall development, and it became possible only due to perfect visionary of our Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi ji. So I believe that corrective measures will be adopted by our concerned departments to combat the situation very soon. Unification of donor and NEC will be a realistic measure which should be adopted very soon for the better development work in the region. In conclusion, the strategic version for integrating the Northeast region within the India-ASEAN framework alongside merger of donor and NEC herald a new dawn for Tripura, that is my state. It is the vision of the central government led by Modi ji that recognizes the intrinsic value of this jewel, leveraging its potential to shine brighter on the global stage. As these initiatives unfold, Tripura will undoubtedly stand on as a beacon of progress, unity, peace, enduring the legacy as a comparison in the journey of development of India as one nation, one India, Ek Bharat, Shrestha Bharat. Before I concluding, I again like to express my gratitude to our CPF branch for providing and allowing me to participate in this wonderful conference, and also for providing wonderful hospitality here in Aizawl, where we are everybody feeling home away from home. We are gathered here for fostering the legislative sanctity and wishing very success of this conference. I conclude my speech. Thank you once again. Thank you, honorable speakers and honorable deputy chairman of Rajya Sabha and all other dignitaries. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, Jai Ashtalakshmi. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Srimati, Honorable Srimati Kalyani Saha Roy, who is the Chief Whip of Tripura. Our next speaker is Honorable Speaker, Honorable Shri Biswajit Daimari, Honorable Speaker of Assam. But before he takes time, I would like to make a small announcement. Our Honorable Deputy Chairman, Honorable Shri Harivanshi, has been with us for the last 2 days. Today, he will be departing in some time. So before he departs, the announcement is that I will be escorting Honorable Deputy Chairman during the session, while the session is ongoing under the convenership of Honorable Speaker, Mizoram Legislative Assembly. So we still have time.
May I request you please both continue at the chair, I'll leave alone. Please,
Sir.
please.
So I'll give time to Honorable Speaker Assam to continue.
The Honorable Deputy Chairman, Rajya Sabha, Sri Harivanshi, Honorable Speaker, Nagaland, and the Chairman of CPA Zone 3, Honorable Speaker Mizoram, and Honorable Speakers of different states, Honorable Deputy Speakers, Principal Secretary, Principal Secretary, Secretaries, and Commissioners of different assemblies, and Honorable members are also present, Honorable Ministers from Mizoram. So on these issues, informally yesterday also I spoke. This is a central subject, but especially for Northeast region. That's why it is very important to discuss within us also how this ministry is going on and how this Northeast Council working. And as a ministry, we are noticing that the monitoring and supervising on the schemes is very slow. Sometimes some scheme it takes more than 5 years also, not completed. And time to time the schemes and projects, the policies and designs are changed. And because of that also, sometimes the people of Northeast, what they want from that ministry, they cannot achieve because of some guidelines also. Now, there is 2 agencies in the same ministry. One is Northeast Council and one is Development of Northeastern Region Ministry. But their purpose of work is same and the field also same. And sometimes people of Northeast feel little problem when one ministry or one agency says that this is not under their jurisdiction. So you go to donor ministry. And sometimes donor also says like that. So it is under Northeast Council, not from donor ministry. So you better to go in NEC. So like this, manifesting. And the last 2-3 years, not only 2-3 years, about 4-5 years, the policy and design of projects is sense and some specific program has been taken up by the ministry where some common programs cannot implement or Northeastern people cannot get through this ministry. And for that programs which are taken newly, in one project sometimes it needs 100 crore, 150 crore, 200 crore like that. But our issues are concerned with the 5 crore, 10 crore, which we are facing in every day. And we need to solve this, and for that we need infrastructural development. But because of such project schemes, which are taken by the Northeastern region, and the fund is very limited, and which work also could be implemented by the other agency. So today National Highway Authority is here, Road and Surface, the ministry is there, and they can construct roads. But in Northeastern region, important roads are constructing by the donor funds. So that's why through donor, we have some social problems which people of Northeast always suffering. Small problem, but in their lab. This is very big problem they have to face in every moment. So the solution is only possible if other ministries, they are concerned these schemes, if they can be taken up by themselves, not through donors. Now what ministers saying sometime, say you have fund in donor ministry, why you want from this agriculture ministry, from this road and service transport ministry, like that, money situation is. So Honorable Harivangsi here, so why Northeastern people always angry with the central government, central ministries. So Northeast people wants that how the ministries taken up to develop the countries in different way. So that kind of schemes also taken up by that concerned ministry in Northeastern region also. But after creating the ministry, little they are ignoring day by day. So donor is there already. So why should we taken up the schemes from the Northeast? So like this situation, little मतलब क्या बोलता है, मेरा इंग्लिश में इतना नहीं आता है, वही मेरे समझ से I have little problem in English also to explain properly. So sometimes so this is the issue, what I'm saying. And now, what I'm observing, and yesterday also we just talked during the time of lunch also, that donor is already a ministry. But every ministry have a parliamentary standing committee so that parliamentary standing committee can monitor or supervise or take accountability. You can ask question to the ministry, but this is not in this ministry, donor ministry. Donor ministry is merged up with home ministry. But home ministry have their own lots of issues. So they cannot get times. And from the notice also there is sometime 1-2 members only. So they cannot pressurize the committee to bring the committee here in Northeast and look the work of donor ministry or NAC. So situation is happened like that. So that's why what I think, if separate parliamentary standing committee can form, they are in parliament, then it will be little helpful for Northeastern people, that what people they think and their feelings, they can tell to the standing committee, and standing committee accordingly, they can advise the ministry also. So how to work here and what kind of schemes is important. Now the Northeastern region also going in the same policy with the nation, but here geographical scenario is little different, position is little different, everywhere hill. Assam only, Valley, Assam also not Valley, Assam, Brahmaputra is there, and little some 100 kilometers, some 50 kilometers area is only Valley. All like a river bank, Assam is also. And surrounding, this Bhutan is there little, and otherwise all Northeast states are all hill area surrounding Assam. So it's very difficult in the hill area to implement any schemes. And in plain area also, this is not like other state of India. Every kilometer there is a river. So in road construction also, we need bridge. And because of that, our costing is very high. And now MNREGA is not useful for Northeastern region. But always in the interest of the nation, we take name of MNREGA. But through Manrega in hill area, we cannot do anything. Through Manrega in Assam, we cannot do anything because only people, labor wages is there, but not materials component. Only 40% materials component. But if we construct sand gravel roads or hardwork roads, in every kilometer, we need some 7-8 slab culverts. And which is in a ratio, we cannot take enough. Because the construction of slab culvert is very high and bridge is very high. And the Manrega guideline not cover this. Until and unless amendment or special consideration for the Northeast, the Manrega cannot develop this area. The Panchayati Raj system also cannot give justice to the people of Northeastern region. So these are the issues only. I think only understanding issues is there. Now, Jyotiraj Scindia, Honorable Minister, I don't know how much he has knowledge about the Northeastern, this area, and their daily life, their social life. Because until and unless we understand the social life, how their daily life is going on, we cannot do any good projects. So that's why my today's in-house only submission is there. If we can't request through our forum to the Honorable Deputy Chairman is here, and then Honorable Lok Sabha Speaker, whether we can rethink about the separate departmental standing committee formation in Parliament separately, and whether we can request or bring notice to the Honorable Home Minister so that he can also tell the Parliamentary Affairs Minister to look after the matter. So if like this, we can bring it into a notice, then definitely they will also can taken up some good steps, I think, and if such this method is taken up or discussion, committee discussion, then definitely solution will be there. So now NISIT schemes is very high. In my constituency also, sanctioned 131 crore NISIT. So all funds already given to this scheme. And how will we get you now 10 crore, 11 crore? So like this situation. So thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker Assam. I think your input is very insightful. Having a parliamentary standing committee to look into the workings and functioning execution of works of the donor and the NEC would be really helpful. Honorable Deputy Chairman is here, Sri Harivanshi. I'm sure our voices will be heard in the corridors of democracy there in New Delhi through him. Once again, honored delegates, we are once again extremely grateful for the presence of our Honorable Deputy Chairman, the Rajya Sabha, Honorable Sri Harivanshi, who have been with us, connecting with us, sharing with us his knowledge and experience for the last 2 days of the plenary conference. And so on behalf of the CPA India Region Zone 3, I wish him all the very best in his leadership of the Rajya Sabha and in his endeavor for the welfare of the people. So we want to thank you, sir, for your presence and for your time.
Thank you, Honorable Chairman. Just I would like to say one word. I came in Mizoram wearing Delhi Zoo and going back with your North is so close to my heart. It's always an opportunity to meet all of you and feel a lot of elevation and all. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So I'll be escorting Honorable Rajya Sabha member. The discussion will continue with Honorable Speaker Mizoram.
Thank you. Please.
Let us be seated. Before we move on to the next speaker, I'd like to touch upon few points on the two topics that we've been discussing. Like we have already been informed by the chairman that one of the topics is inclusion of the Northeast region in the India-ASEAN vision for trade and cooperation. And the second one is merging the Ministry of Donor with NEC for better strategic planning and coordination of various projects in the region. So members are free to touch upon both the topics, but then it would be great if one topic is taken in full length and then goes on to the next topic. Now I'd urge upon the members to consider some few points, because we are facing a very, very big kind of a revolution that will be taking place in terms of trade and cooperation between India and ASEAN countries, if at all it takes place. So the Northeast will be just a corridor, will just a passage for this trade and cooperation. So are the Northeast states really ready for this? Are we ready socially? Are we ready economically? Because it goes without saying that some of the states in the Northeast are protected by our special laws that was in place during the British times. That is the inner line permit system. Mizoram is one of them. I believe Arunachal Pradesh is also in place. And Nagaland and Meghalaya has spoken about it. And I believe they would love to adopt these rules, but then I don't know how far it is. The reason why I'm emphasizing on this is that the people in the Northeast India, we need a special kind of protective mechanism. Seeing this very aspect, the British has put in place these special rules. So such is a situation. So if this India-ASEAN trade and cooperation take place, so there will be a huge influx of business people, and our local businessmen will be having a tough time to survive. So those kinds of things could be considered. And economically, of course, I need not emphasize. So it is for the members to kindly, take into consideration all the pros and cons of what is going to take place. So we'll move on to the next speaker. Honorable Deputy Speaker from Sikkim, Srimati Raj Kumari Thapa. Please.
Honorable Deputy Chairman Rajya Sabha Sri Harivanshi, who left early, and Honorable Chairman CPA Zone 3rd Sri Saringen Longkumar, Honorable Speaker Nagaland, Honorable Speaker Mizoram Sri Lalabai Kajma, and all presiding officers, ministers, MPs, MLAs of Northeast states, and esteemed guests, a very good day to you all. Sikkim is relatively new to the Northeast Council than other northeastern states, having been recognized only in the early 90s, thereby being a part of the Northeast Council Act 1971. I would like to express some of my limited opinion regarding merging of the Ministry of Donor with NEC for better strategic planning and coordination of various projects in the region, NEC and donor. Northeast Council sees problems, plans, and deliberates on ideas that our state sees from our regional and cultural point of view, keeping in mind the local sentiments and ethnicity as a priority. While the Ministry of Donor, through its channel, warrants development and safeguards, it would also put national interests in perspective while deciding upon development of Northeast. Should we propose this merging of NEC body, consisting of 8 governors, 8 chief ministers, and others coming within the ambit of the Ministry of Donors headed by Union Minister? The idea has both pros and cons to it. Pros: streamlined decision-making, reduce bureaucratic overlap, enhance coordination and synergy, improved efficiency and effectiveness, single-point accountability, reduced administrative costs, simplified funding mechanism. Briefly, the rationale of merging would streamline decision-making and align our regional priorities with national goals, avoiding duplicacy and single-point institutions for planning, financing, implementation, and accountability would exist. A comprehensive developmental plan for Northeast region, data analytics, and this mapping can be leveraged. Also, strides to achieving sustainable development goals prospectively can be made, keeping sectors like health, education, skill development, tourism, human empowerment, connectivity, etc. for holistic development. Cons: loss of regional autonomy, potential dominance of central government interests, dilution of NEC advisory role, reduced representations for Northeastern interest, increased bureaucratic hierarchy, potential delays in decision-making, risks of centralized planning and overriding regional needs. The following few preconditions for successful mergers through may be introspected: clear definitions of roles and responsibility, strong regional representation and participation, protections of regional autonomy and interest, ensured accountability and transparency, adequate funding and resources. Again, another thought of NEC being a part of the donor only to an autonomous advisory extent with outlined and specified clear definitions on working rules, conditions, and responsibilities comes to discussion. Actually, the Secretary of Donor is probably by default also the member secretary of NEC, so he is already a bridge between two bodies. Further, participations of the minister in charge of donor in NEC as a special invitee should always be extended so that we push forward our issues directly. Today, the NEC not only participates toward developments through the Ministry of Donor, but as the body looks directly into matter pertaining to other departments such as finance, taxation, law, IT, transport, commerce, economy affairs, etc. So would not merger affect these attributes of pushing regional issues through the NEC forum directly? We are thankful to the Ministry of Donor for the Northeast Special Infrastructure Development Scheme, non-lapsable central pool of resource, Northeast Industrial and Investment Promotion Policy, and various skill development and entrepreneurship schemes. But again, NEC best understands the inter-state relations and regional planning amongst us. By collaboration, NEC and donor work together to identify development priorities, in formulating policies and programs, in implementing projects and schemes, in monitoring progress and outcomes. By synergizing their efforts, NEC and donor aim to transform the northeastern region into a vibrant economic hub, leveraging its strategic location, natural resources, and cultural diversity. Although there are overlapping responsibilities in infrastructure development, in economic growth, in social development, and regional connectivity, a coordination mechanism needs to be devised and improvised so that NEC and donor collaborate on regional development projects. Joint meeting and consultation ensures greater synergy as NEC provides input on regional priorities and donor provides financial and technical support. A merger between NEC and donor requires careful considerations of regional autonomy, representation, and interests. A well-planned integration could enhance efficiency and effectiveness, but risks and challenges must be addressed. By addressing this concern and preconditions, a merged entity can effectively promote the socio-economic development of the northeastern region. Thank you. But before I end, on behalf of Sikkim, I would like to extend our gratitude to the Mizoram Legislative Assemblies and all officers and officials attached to us for having warmly hosted us here in your wonderful city. We are touched by your warmth, humility, and smiles, which we shall cherish. We wish you all a healthy and bright future ahead. Thank you once again. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Honorable Srimati Rajkumari Thapa, Deputy Speaker of Sikkim. Your points are well taken. When you talked about the funding and resources, when you talked about the participation of the Northeast, and when you talked about the natural resources, the tourism, and the need for the regional meetings at times. Thank you once again. And so far as hospitality is concerned, we all want you to go back happy, but we have our limitations. So I implore all the members to treat us as what we are. Thank you. So we'll go on to the next speaker. The next speaker would be Honorable Speaker of Arunachal Pradesh, Sri Tesam Pongte. Please.
Good morning to one and all. Most respected Chairperson cum Speaker, Honorable Speaker of Mizoram, Lalbek Jamaji. Respected Honorable Speaker of Assam, Tripura, Sikkim, Honorable Deputy Speaker of Mizoram, Sikkim, Nagaland and Meghalaya. Respected Secretary of Mizoram Legislative Assembly, Nagaland, and all presence officers here, all the delegates coming from different states, Honorable Minister and Advisor and Honorable MLA of Mizoram, and President of the House. Let me also want to share regarding merging the Ministry of Donor with the NEC for better strategic planning and coordination of various projects in the region. First of all, I would like to go a little bit in the background. NEC was established under the Northeastern Council Act in 1971 as an apex level body for securing balanced and coordinated development and facilitating coordination with the Northeastern state. Subsequent to the amendment of 2002, NEC has been mandated to function as a regional planning body for the Northeastern areas, and while formulating a regional plan for this area, shall give priority to the scheme and project benefiting two or more states, provided that in the case of Sikkim, the Council shall formulate specific project and schemes for the state. Repositioning of Northeastern Council in 2018. The Union Cabinet, chaired by the Honorable Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi ji, approved the proposal of Ministry of Development of Northeastern Region donor for the nomination of the Union Home Minister as ex-officio chairman of the Northeastern Council NEC, a statutory body with governors and chief ministers of all the 8 Northeastern states and its member. The Cabinet also approved the Minister of State Independent Church, Ministry of Donor will serve as Vice Chairman of the Council. Now, impact. NEC implement various projects through the state and central agencies under the new arrangement with Honorable Home Minister as Chairman and the Minister of Donor as Vice Chairman. NEC and all the governors and the Chief Minister of Northeastern State as member will provide a forum for discussion interstate matter more comprehensively and also considered common approach to be taken in future. NEC can now also perform the tasks undertaken by the various zonal council to discuss such interstate issue as drugs trafficking, smuggling of arms and ammunition, boundary dispute, etc. This repositioning of Northeast NEC will help it to become a more effective body for the Northeastern region. The council shall from time to time review the implementation of the project scheme, including in the project recommend effective measures for coordination among the state government for this project, etc. The council shall have such power as may delegate to it by the central government. Rajya Sabha discussed the working of the Ministry of Development of Northeastern Region in the last 2022 March 14. Rajya Sabha discussed the working of the Ministry of Development of Northeastern Region, donor. During the discussion, several issues around budgetary allocation, implementation of scheme and connectivity with the Northeastern region were discussed. The Ministry of Donor is responsible for matters relating to the planning, execution and monitoring of development scheme and project in the Northeast region. Key issue raised by member during discussion in Rajya Sabha, the discussion of the working of the Ministry of Donor took place in Rajya Sabha on March 14, 2022. One of the issues highlighted by members was about the ministry not having its own line department. That's very important. Ministry has no having its own department. This lead to the ministry being dependent on the administrative strength of the state for implementation of project. Another issue highlighted by several members was lack of connectivity of the region through railway and road network, which hampered the economic growth of region. The donor minister is, in his response to the House, assured the member that the central government is making continuous effort toward improving connectivity of the Northeastern region through roads, railway, waterways, and telecommunication. So, observing all, instead of merging, a line department should be created. In my view, we should demand from the central government to establish its line department so that the implementation of various scheme and project is monitored and implemented properly, so that benefited should reach to the last person standing in the fence. Merger of the donor with NEC may not serve the desired objective, as donor represent our region in the Union Cabinet, which is the highest institution in the parliamentary system that our constitution provided. Here, one more thing is that it might be because of somebody's personal problem due to, egoistic, maybe the intolerance. So, taking care of it, we should rearrange, reshuffle of officers who is working there since last 4 or 5 years. Number two, to create separate parliamentary standing committee so that proper implementation or proper monitoring should be done, or where we can arise the problem through them only. And one we can do to take prone action to, or taking up faster for granting of schemes, etc. Because exactly our Honorable Speaker of Assam said, they don't know what about our, geographically and climate condition of our northeastern region. Out of 12 months, 8 months is always raining. Only we used to get 4 months for working. and they used to delay. If they delay to sanction, then how can we be able to work? How can we be able to execute the works? So, to easy or to faster development, we need easy and faster sanctioning. That's all. Thank you for giving me this opportunity, Honorable Sir. And here, lastly but not the least, also want to congratulate this Mizoram Legislative Assembly for successful conducting of this 21st Annual Conference, India Region, CPA India Region Zone 3. And also would like to heartfelt thanks to all of you, especially Mizoram Legislative Assembly officers headed by our Honorable Speaker, Larbek Jamaji, for giving us such a wonderful stay and warm welcome and hospitality during our stay over here. And especially I would like to thank for yesterday's night, what you have given us your vibes, the culture, local culture displayed. And one lady, she sing very nicely, who's also, she's also sing in Bollywood and many other countries also. For that, thank you, sir, and thank you to all the Mizoram Legislative Assembly's officers. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker of Arunachal Pradesh, Sri Tesampongte. Your points were well taken, especially in terms of the many areas that you touched upon. There are certain ethnic issues that the Northeast are facing. Like you rightly said, that from Delhi they may not be able to understand the whole situation in terms of drugs, menace, security issues. Had these India-ASEAN flies off, even then we will have a lot of challenges in terms of security issues, insurgency and ethnic conflicts in the region. So we need to build up a robust security framework in the process. And of course, interdependent of departments. And the very fact that you have suggested the creation of a line department, that could be a very sensible proposition that could be thought upon. And you talked about, I really don't know whether it is a misnomer, but you talked about the egoism and the intolerance in the system. But then I don't know how this could be really considered into a tangible kind of atmosphere. But then it points to the fact that the system needs to be revamped, needs to be in place. The system has to be in place so that things are streamlined. And when you talk about creation of parliamentary committees, I would touch upon this a little bit more in reference to the Honorable Speaker of Assam's statement as well. We have certain specific problems. The Northeast, unless we are taken on board, unless we are taken into confidence, well, on the decision-making machinery, be it at the parliamentary level or be it at the intercontinental or with our Asian countries, committees. Unless the Northeastern, the stakeholders at the Northeastern fraternity are taken on board, then there is a great chance that it may not, in fact, it may have a negative impact on the whole region. So the points that you have spoken out are very, very valid and well taken. Thank you very much once again. Now we'll go on to the next speaker, Honorable MLA from Nagaland, Sri Achum Bemo Kikon. Please.
Sir, he just went out.
Okay.
So kindly give him time after he comes back.
Okay, no issue. We'll move on to the next speaker in the meantime. So we'll give the time to Honorable MLA from Arunachal Pradesh, Sri Laisam Sumai, please.
I've informed my chairperson. I've opted out.
Okay,
I'm not
okay.
speaking.
Okay. All right. Then we'll go on to the next speaker. Honorable MLA and advisor to the Chief Minister, Technical, Engineer H. Ginzal, please.
Respected Chairman and respected distinguished and dignitaries coming from such a far flank, from different corners of the northeastern regions. We welcome you warmly here in Mizoram, and I would like to take the privilege to mention my gratitude to be here with you in this august gathering. So today's topic is very, very important. It is very important, utmost requirement for considering the current situations. Measuring the Ministry of Donor with NEC for better strategic planning and coordinations of various projects in the regions. So this is very important subjects we need to discuss today. The reason is that we, the northeastern people, are lagging behind for many years together. So we need some kind of transformation in the governance process. So we should be a little bit innovative. The reason I say that, we have to get some kind of administrative reforms. This is very, very important, in my opinion. But today, how far we can do, that is different questions. We know that donor and NEC, it is led by a single person. I think, if I'm not forgotten, if I'm not mistaken, the Ministry of Donor is led by a Minister of State in the center. The same person is the chairman in the Northeastern Council. And in this process, there are very lot of complexity. NEC chairman has to obtain the approval to NEC, to the donor ministry, which have its own different performance, what to say. So the same person has to obtain approval from to donor, but it has to undergo such kind of complexities. So anyway, it is the right time to propose to the central ministry, to the central government, to kindly amend or modify it, or whatsoever the case may be, so on and so forth. So in this regard, I request all the members to come to conclusions. We should have a strong resolution that there must be some kind of administrative reforms to enable us to achieve more efficiency in the governance process. Otherwise, we are lagging behind for quite so many years together already. So in this case, what I want to mention is that we are lacking of what? We are lacking of coordination. We have jumbo-sized ministry. We have jumbo-sized agencies and departments. But we are lacking of coordinations. So it is a must for us. So in order to achieve such kind of efficiencies in the government process and to get more better, improved coordinations, these two ministry or department has to merge together or amalgamate. Or it may be by one way or another. we have to work it out. One of our member rightly pointed out that in the Northeast we have a lot of rains. We have more than 6-7 months together continuously, and we have only 4 months for working seasons. So the main challenge here is time management. Implementing of various projects, the most challenging one is time management. So these two ministry, NEC, whether it is or whether it is donor, they are lagging behind all these management systems. So time management would be one of the challenges we have to face. So to achieve this kind of efficiencies, we have to get some kind of modifications. And I have to point out very important things, but I am not particular to anyone. Please note it. I will not be particular to anyone. The more government means what? The more departments, the more agencies, what? The more departments, the more agencies is more corruption. I am not specific to anyone. Please note it this. So what we want is, we want minimum government, but maximum governance. So sometimes I used to think that in the Northeast, why we are so lagging behind to other states of the country? The reason being that we have so many departments, but lagging of coordinations. So let us reduce the governments as far as possible. Let us reduce the ministry or whatsoever it may be. So it may be the right time to reduce, or it may be the right things to merge the NEC to the donor, because having such kind of ministry at the central level is very tough. So I may propose NEC should be merged within the donor. That may be the right solutions. Let me come once again to my points. So in this case, my proposals to this august gathering is that we may form a study group, or we may propose a study group or study teams to study thoroughly these two ministries, NEC as well as donor. Based on that, their studies or their findings, we can come to such better conclusions. This is what my proposal is. And in the meantime, these two departments, okay, this donor as well as NEC, may coexist conveniently. That means, in my opinion, the donor should be the ministry at the central level, and the NEC will be something like a directorate at the northeastern level. But they should be one ministry. It should not go here and there. Someone has to go to NEC, another person has to go to a donor. That is very different, very difficult problems. So the donors has to perform it in the ministry levels as a secretariat, and the NEC has to perform like a directorate in the northeastern part of India. I think my honorable member from Arunachal Pradesh is mentioning something like that. That is very nice points. I just want to comment that. So these two existing may coexist conveniently. And also another things I want to point out, NEC or donor, they have to go for such kind of prioritized sectors. I don't know so far how much they have done for that. Northeastern people is very much diversified, irrespective of weather, climatic conditions, terrain conditions, ethnic conditions. So we have to diversify it. But in the meantime, we have to prioritize our projects to streamline. So nowadays, the most challenging things we have to face is the climate change related issues. Donor has to prioritize in these sectors, in my opinion. See, this year alone, we have faced a lot of problem in landslide. We have a lot of floods. Roads are damaged. Nearly 80%, 70% is already damaged in these seasons. Bridges are also damaged. And after this season, another season will come. There we have to face forest fire, even maybe drought also will come. These things, a lot of things will come because of climate change. So the donor ministry or the NEC has to give priority in terms of climate change, and we have to come forward to have or to frame a policy, climate change resilient programs. So this is very much important. And also we know that there are some issues, politically, socially. I should not mention, but we have a lot of problems in the Northeast. Recently we know that there are killings, burning of houses, burning of church. Everything happened in our neighborhoods. These things need to be addressed by the ministries, the concerned ministries. So what I want to mention is that we have very limited resources. Please note that. We have very limited resources, but managed by what? Limited resources is managed by unlimited people. This is the main problem. So, in my previous mentioned, we have to reduce the government to its optimal size. Otherwise, management will be the issues in futures. Limited resources managed by unlimited peoples means what? More people means what? More peoples mean more corruption. Please don't mind, I'm not talking about any particular one. So, government should be or shall be more powerful, but should be smaller and smaller. But it should be more powerful. That will be the right approach in the coming future. So yesterday we had a lot of discussion regarding the trade and commerce issues as far as the northeastern part of the country is concerned. In this regard, I may want to point out one thing. In Mizoram, we have a rail station here very close to Aizawl. Suppose if we construct a dam very close to Aizawl here, which may be approximately 10 kilometers from the rail station, at Long River. Then we have to construct another dam at the southern point of Mizoram. So in construction of these two dams, the ponds come to very close. I studied regarding this, but the concept only. Please note that, the concept only. I'm not studying about the technical feasibilities, environment concerns, maybe not even the economic viabilities. But it is the concept. If the two dams are constructed with little bit higher elevation, I mean dam height, the ponds are coming very close at some location, at some particular locations. If this location, if we cut and construct a canal, that means we can have negations or inland waterways from Aizawl to the southern point of Mizoram. And we can achieve a seamless transshipment by means of railways, by means of inland waterways, by means of that Kaladan multimodal. It's very close to that. And from that Paletwa seaport, from Paletwa we can achieve, we can go to Sidwe. From Sidway, it is very close to even Calcutta. This was a very, maybe if possible, it would be very, very big, factors in upliftment of the economy of the northeastern part of the countries. So please think in that way. So in this regard, there are many issues we have to consider. So lastly, I just want to mention that, as I have told before, we can have or we can form a committee to study regarding the NORDER, regarding the NEC, so that we can come to very beautiful conclusions and put up the case to the government, central governments, to enable us to attain more better governance. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Sri Ginjal, respected MLA, as well as advisor to the Chief Minister Technical, for your insightful words and your statements. It talks about a lot of areas. Talks about interdepartmental coordination requirement, time management, less government, more governance. However, this meeting is about the legislature meeting. So far as the executives are concerned, we cannot delve so deep into it like our Honorable Speaker of Assam have pointed out. However, the proposal for forming a study group or a study team is quite a valid point. So from thence on, maybe the areas of your concerns could be addressed. I'm hopeful. And one of your proposals that talks about the secretariat model in Delhi and a directorate model in Northeast level is also one area which is really eye-browsing. Now, I would like to go on to the next speaker. Honorable MLA from Nagaland, Sri Achum Bemokikon, please.
I'm extremely sorry, Speaker Sir. I've just gone out. Ka lome pu lal bak zama for the time given. Most of the points have been already touched upon by my seniors as well as the previous speakers. It's a privilege to address a meeting of this nature, represented by various elected members of our northeastern states. Well, Speaker Sir, you are fully aware, Northeast is also known as the chicken neck. It has a very low strip of land, which is also known as Siliguri Corridor. Now this chicken neck, if it is cut off from the mainland, then more problem, since problems are already there, more problem will be invited. And probably for that matter, the central government has been taking a lot of keen interest in initiating various policies, projects and programs. One such policies which we have debated yesterday is about the Look East policy. From the Look East policy, the government of India has shifted to Act East policy. Now, the policy of look east to act east. Honorable Speaker, sir, without northeast, where is the act east policy? How do we implement act east policy? Many of our previous speakers were actually very polite on the government of India, but I wish to be a little aggressive coming from Nagaland as well as representing the Northeast. All through these years, you are aware, the government of India has been using Northeast region for what? Only for one purpose. That is for the security purpose, security arena. Nothing more, nothing less. To the government of India, Northeast is too far. And the whole Northeast, from 1940s, 50s onwards till this 20th century, it has been all militarized, and they have been using more of a military tactics rather than implementing a policies that are akin to the northeastern region, are policies that are friendly to the inhabitants of the northeast people. This has been the attitude of the government of India, and unfortunately, we as northeast region people, inhabitants, we are also unable to come together as one people, as one region. Many a times, while pushing our own tribe, state interest, we tend to forget the common interest of the Northeast region. And this is how we have been also unconsciously contributing by ourselves in derailing various process of development and also the policies that will be good for our people. Now, let me confine to the topic given about the merging the Ministry of Donor with the NEC for better strategic planning and coordination of various projects in the region. This is a very relevant topic, which, of course, has to be debated very thoroughly, and many of the members have contributed. I'm inclined to endorse the idea propounded by Honorable Speaker Dada Daimari, Honorable Speaker of Assam, about the Parliamentary Standing Committee. I think that's a very sound proposal. And most of the points which I thought I must raise are being already touched upon by Pu Lalde has touched upon most of the issues which I was having in my mind. If you see the functioning of donor, Speaker, sir, the main objective of donor is actually the main role of the donor is a facilitator, to play a facilitator role. Whereas, if you compare the role of the NEC, Northeast Council, it's about advisory in nature. So there are two distinctions. Donor is more or less a de facto body, whereas NEC is a legally authorized body, because it's a statutory advisory body. Now, how do we synchronize these two bodies to be functional in the interest of the Northeast region? If you see the system, how it operates, the donor operates from Delhi, to be very simple. the Northeast Council operates from Shillong. So the distance itself is also not friendly to us. Let me not go into too technical. In a very simple way, I'm putting across my view. See the facilitator role of the donor, removing infrastructural bottlenecks. That is one of the roles to be played by the donor. Providing basic minimum services. Creating an environment for private investment. I was going through this morning paper, Nagaland page, which I have given to the chairman of the CBA, which is placed in your chair, in your table, Speaker, sir. The donor minister in charge of donor, Pu Joydit Raditya Scindia, was speaking in Bangalore. And he was inviting Bangalore investors should bring innovation to Northeast, says Joydit Raditya Scindia. This was reported in Nagaland today, in Nagaland page. I've just downloaded. It was also in the Indian Express. He was encouraging the private investors to invest in the Northeast. One very interesting point which he raised was quite a lot, but which offers Northeast, which offers immense potential, both in its natural resources and human talent. That's a very right point he has touched. I think we should not be looked upon. We should not be looked down anymore. We have the human talent with us. We are also as capable. We have all the caliber at our command to compete with the rest of the nation, with the mainland. And therefore, his speech, as far as natural resources is concerned, it goes without saying. But there, the mainland, the government of India, is unable to identify, or let us say, refusing to recognize the potential, the human talent, the human resources of the Northeast region. And we have the capacity. Honorable Speaker, sir, and I'm happy that today the minister in charge of the donor itself is recognizing the human talent. So how do we bring investors if situations are not conducive? If we don't create an environment for the private investors to invest in the Northeast? I've said Pu Lalte has touched a little bit on the political problem. I want to touch upon the Naga political issue. It's an old topic for all of you. We have been yearning for a solution, for peace for so many years, almost 6 decades now. And taking advantage of this platform, I also would like to impress upon, appeal to the Northeast region, especially people who matters are here. We solicit your support. Help us to resolve it. It is not only the Naga people who will gain, Speaker, sir. The entire Northeast region is supposed to benefit out of it. Naga people have struggled, withstood for this much long years, despite of repressive policies being imposed on us. That strength also manifested the strength of the Northeast, not only Naga people alone, Speaker, sir. And therefore, that is one which, well, picking up Joydit Raditya's statement in his Bangalore speech, I also would like to put across, requesting, appealing to the Northeast states to support the Naga peace process. Because creating an environment for private investment is, we need peaceful environment. What is the other role of the donor? commissioning studies on problems of ethnic groups. Now, Northeast states comprises of various ethnic groups. I think this is being already identified in the donor. But probably there is no proper policy, no proper funding, and therefore, in our discussion today, while adopting a resolution, all this can be touched upon. Study the various ethnic groups. You see a lot of ethnic clash happening within northeastern states. Let me take some examples. Like in Assam, the population explosion, demographic change is happening because of the illegal immigration from Bangladesh. So also in Nagaland. But it varies from state to state. In Arunachal and Mizoram, you are more of into Jakma, either, I don't know whether it is called refugees or immigrants. Which term you use it, I don't know. So also in Manipur, there are lots of ethnic clash happening because of, they call it illegal immigration. So all these ethnic group studies, it is already envisioned in the donor, but it has not been taken forward. So these are to be encompassed in our discussions, in our resolutions. Documenting disputes between states, that is also a part of the vision objective of the donor. Speakers here, we all share borders with especially our big brother Assam. Nagaland has a border dispute with Assam, so also Mizoram, Meghalaya, Arunachal, all of us. Because we all were a part of Assam before we all became independent states. So it is natural. It's not that we created it. Now, in the donor vision, these are a part of it, documenting disputes between states. So how do we document, how do we resolve it? Whether inside the court or resolve it outside the court? Through people's dialogue, through legislatures forum like this, having a discussion among ourselves. These are the things which are being envisioned in the donor objective. But these are not being taken forward. Another aspect is about studying language and scripts of the region. One which is very rich in the culture of all of us is about our language. All of us have our own distinct language. So these are a part of the donor vision. Let us now come back to the NEC. I have stated very clearly, NEC is a statutory body, which is actually, if you go by legal parlance, NEC is more powerful than the donor ministry. Because when you have a statutory body, it is either created through an act of parliament or an act of a state legislature. So therefore, NEC is a very powerful institution in terms of its activities. What are its objectives? If you see, formulating developmental plan, reviewing and inspecting schemes and projects, recommending financial assistance for regional plan and projects, suggesting surveys and feasibility studies, evaluating state measures for maintaining public order and security. The last point is very important. Providing advice on social and economic planning, interstate transport, communication, flood control, and common power projects. Now, Assam used to face flood control. The rest of the states are all mountainous states. So our problem is landslides. Meghalaya, of course, very often face mild earthquake. Otherwise, the rest of us, the states, are prone to landslides. Assam is about flood, and it is already envisioned in the NEC. And one most potential aspect for the northeastern states, which is already embedded in the NEC vision, is about power projects. This is one potential area where Government of India can harness by investing at the right place, right time, with the right budget. Common power projects. We can be a supplier of the rest of the nation as far as projects power is concerned. So these are the few visions envisaged in the NEC. But if you see the implementation on the ground, Speaker sir, let me be very blunt that it is much, much below the expectations. It has not yielded the expected result envisioned in the document itself. So therefore, a platform of this sort, having all the, we have majority speakers, deputy speakers from the northeastern states, I think we will not get a better platform than this platform to discuss and impress upon the Government of India to act upon. Now, how do we, let me conclude by putting across some few suggestions. To the honorable speakers, Dada Damare is a former parliament member also. He knows how Indian parliament works. Let us go a little unconventional. I would put it that way. The speakers of these 8 districts, 8 of you, I think you should go a little, go outside the box, go outside the box, and approach the Prime Minister by yourself. This is what I would like to suggest. If the chief ministers or elected members like us, an MLA, ministers, if we approach, they will always think that it is political. I belong to a party, regional party called Naga People's Front. So they will say that it's NBF interest. So if I go, if some of the chief ministers and ministers go, they will take it that way, and they have been taking that way. But if the speakers, 8 of you, unite, meet the seek an audience with the Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister, I would even suggest that why don't you ask a one-time grant, let us say. Speakers, why should you always ask, even for a small maintenance of your office, to the Finance Minister? You should also sometimes bring fun. Let it be, make it in a little humorous way. By yourself, contribute to the state exchequer and force upon the chief ministers and finance ministers to sanction this much for the governance, for the development of our states. I think there is nothing wrong. I've started with in doing this, I've started with the chicken neck, the Siliguri corridor. We come from that area. So ours is different from the rest. I mean, your stature, speakers, I'm talking about the speaker's chair, is different from the rest of the entire another states, 20 plus states. So I would strongly suggest that the speakers have to go little outside the box for the interest of our states, of our northeastern states. Let us be little unconventional. We are inhabiting a land which has numerous, thousands of problems. A problem which other states in India are not facing. It is different. Whose state is not having a problem? Everyone. But comparatively, the rest of the states have gone ahead. Far, too far ahead of us. we are being left behind. So, as you come under this platform called the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, Honorable Chairman, sir, before you came, I was suggesting that 8 of you, why don't you unite, seek an audience with the Honorable Prime Minister, ventilate our issues, our problems, our grievances on our behalf, instead of waiting for the chief ministers, for the finance ministers, for the MLAs like us to approach the corridor of power. We must be little unconventional. That's what I was suggesting. I think this will help serve our purpose, and it will also have meaning of our conference of this nature. Otherwise, simply passing a resolution, sending through postcard, through post office, that will not materialize. It will not fructify. Because we have had enough experience how we have been communicating with the government of India. But nothing on the ground. Very minimal, let us say. I will not say nothing, but very minimal. So therefore, this is what I think, and I must suggest to the conference of this CPA, and a study group which Pool Alde has suggested, I think that is also not a very bad idea. It is also a very good idea that can be also thought over, but I am repeating at the risk of repeating the suggestion put forward by Dada Dameri. It's a very relevant one. The Parliamentary Standing Committee is a very important forum in the Parliament, and discussing issues of this nature will really put impetus to our problem. With this, I would like to once again thank the chair for giving me time. I'm sorry I've gone out. I think I've slipped out of my time. Anyway, once again, Kalome.
Thank you. Don't really feel out of the box. You've done, very insightful kind of statements in terms of so many areas that you've touched upon, like convenience for security, and there are certain problems specific to Northeast India. And you talked about our potentials, but we lack opportunity. That's a very relevant point. And of course, we have a political impasse which is yet to be dealt with. And you talked about language and scripts, local dialect. All are very, very valid points. And one very, very important point, Mr. Chairman, sir, he spoke about was that why don't we Northeast MPs go and approach the Prime Minister directly? There is no harm in trying. If we are unsuccessful, we are back to square one. So why don't you give it a try? So that is one of the suggestions that you have given. So well taken, Mr. Achumbe Mokikon. Thank you very much. So I'd like to pass on the time to our Honorable Chairman. Please, Chairman, sir.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, Mizoram Legislative Assembly, for convening the discussion so far. In continuation of the discussion, I would now like to give time to Honorable Shri Aminul Islam, Honorable Member of Legislative Assembly from Assam.
Honorable Chairman and various Speaker and Deputy Speaker of the Northeast states, various legislature from the various states, those who come from the northern states, principal secretaries, and the other dignitaries. Actually, the subject is very important, Donor and NEC, we have seen their donor is a ministry. It's a total separate ministry which is under the Home Ministry. It's a state ministry. And NEC is totally a advisory body which is formed in 1971 under the, it is passed in Parliament in Northeast Council Act 1971. So there is some problems. I think there is some problems. It is the advisory body and another is the executive body. Executive body is a co-chairman of that advisory body. There is one secretary in Shillong, office at Shillong, another is in Delhi, New Delhi. There is some IS officer, secretary and the joint secretaries are there. I think this is the issue of the Northeast state. And basically the ministers, those who are sitting in Delhi, how much they are interested to solve our problems. We have seen, this forum is a speakers forum, moreover some MLAs are sitting here. And there is one theme, then fostering the legislative sensitivity. Our target and motto is the fostering or sensitivity of the legislative. And it is the work of the executive body, basically work of the executive body. In every state there is a ministers, chief ministers and other ministers. I think it is very effective if all assembly takes some resolutions and sent jointly to the Government of India. These are the problems. These are our issues. We are a very poor state. Most of the states are very poor. We don't have good GDP. We cannot contribute to the central GDP. Most of the states are tax-free state. We cannot take taxes from the common people except 2 or 3 states. Then what contribution to the center? What is our resources? What we can produce? Our state is not an industrial state except 2 or 3 industries or some industry, Assam and Tripura. Most of the states there is no industry. Then our resources, what's our resources? The natural resource is our resource and human resource our resource. Among these states, northeastern states, 4 states are tribal states. Most of the tribal peoples are not agreed to go outside of their local area. It's one of the major issue. But center is not interested to aware ourselves, aware our community, aware our people. They don't have trained us as human resources. You see Meghalaya, Nagaland, Arunachal Pradesh and Mizoram also. Some ginger, some spices, some betel nut. These are our resources. Somewhere is coal is also there. I want to say, in 16th Finance Commission is preparing their everything. 16th Finance Commission, what is our demand from the northern states? We should final some demands jointly with all the 8 northern states. Sit together. Though it has a forum that is the NEC, and jointly appeal to the central government. Yes, this is the priority for the Mizoram, this is the priority for Meghalaya, this is the priority for the Nagaland, this is the priority for the Assam. This should be select fast. Then after, we can request them. You see, in Bihar, there is a flood. And in our Assam, this year, 25 districts is affected. More than 100 people are killed. Several thousand houses are washed away. It is not declared as a national calamity. But Bihar, it is declared as a national calamity. 10,000 crore they have taken. And in Assam, 300 crore, something like that. Why this is? We cannot demand properly. 16th Finance Commission, what is our recommendation? Separate fund should be allocation for us. You see, 90% transportation through sea or boat like that. Our nearest port is Calcutta. At least in Guwahati, it is a 23-24 hour journey. Guwahati. But Chittagong or Cox's Bazar is only 500 or 600 kilometers from the Guwahati. It is 1/3, but we cannot manage it. Myanmar is very near. For Myanmar, we can take this facility, but we are not taking. Most of the neighboring country of our nation is not so good now. You see, Bangladesh, recent political unrest, our relation is so bad. There is no road in Bangladesh border. In my constituency is the Bangladesh border. Is covering the Bangladesh border. My 2/3 is covered by Bangladesh border. There is no highway. One NEC road is there. But since my birth, it is not proper. I don't know who is work there, who is monitoring there, work quality is good or not. Nobody knows. Nobody is interfered there. I don't know where is NEC. State government is not taking the responsibility. So these are the huge problem. You see, if we bring in our state, Jogigopa is making a huge framework for the Indo-ASEAN process. Big ships will come from the Bay of Bengal and come to this our Assam. That is the Jogigopa is making one station. In this Jogigopa, then our river bed is so high. That means Brahmaputra is the highest silk-carrying river of the world. 2 or 3 times our Prime Minister declared that the Brahmaputra bed will digging, Borak will digging, but it is not happening. Infrastructure is developing. Dhubri-Fulbari bridge, 21-kilometer bridge over Brahmaputra, that is connecting my constituency. But water highway, to use this water highway, we don't have proper plan of the Indian government. If it is come to the Jogigopa, the ships come to Jogigopa, or from the Bay of Bengal, small barges can use. The cost of the essential commodities will get cheap rate for the people of the Northeast. But that planning is not using. I don't know what is the reason. So question is there. Donor ministry, today I don't know this forum is sufficient for not. This Indo-ASEAN relation, it is a matter of the central government. It is not a central list. It is not in the concurrent list. But we are discussing this forum. So we have to take some resolutions. We cannot execute, just we can give some resolution or we can give some suggestion through this forum also. The Indo-ASEAN road, it is started, Indo-ASEAN car rally is started in 2013 when I just entered in politics, student politics. So till today, from Srirampur to this More road is still not clear. 14-15 years is covered over, but it is not, still it is not clear. Work is very slow. Some of my friends already declared that only 4 or 5 months is working period in our state, in our northeast area. So for effectiveness of our works, our position, our agriculture, for everything, we have to take some important decision through various assembly and I think various chief ministers and various groups. And we can use some researchers how we can improve our quality, improve our connectivity. What is our problems? We MLA, we don't have much time to study. We can engage some researchers to research and find out our problems, and to what are the suggestions they have given, they will give to us to implement. You see, one very important suggestion is given our speaker, that is the Parliamentary Standing Committee. I think it is very important. And MP Forum, Northeast MP Forum is there. All MP should sit together above the political affiliation, above the political differences, and find out some suggestions from the MP Forum also, NEC also, and to pressure the central government and to more activate of the donor ministry. And most of the points already discussed, just I want to repeat again. Just I personally believe we have to, all the state of northern area, to sit together, improve our coordination, and work as a pressure group in Delhi. Work as a pressure group in Delhi. NGOs, writers, those who are writing the very magazine and the newspapers and the research workers, multi-dimensional pressure should be imposed on the central government. I think then after can change something, and it is very urgent needs, not the separate body. NEC and donor are the separate. NEC should be a directorate which is originated or the operated from the Northeast India, and ministry is in Delhi, that is a separate matter. And this ministry should be more active, and it should be a cabinet rank, and minister of the donor, not the vice chairman. I think direct he should be the chairman of this body. The various suggestions this house can give to them, I think it will be better for our Northeast regions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Member of the Assam Legislative Assembly, for your participation and your insightful suggestions. It's well taken and noted. Distinguished delegates, as per the program listed for us, we are supposed to have lunch at 1 p.m., which is to be hosted by Honorable Parliamentary Affairs Minister of the Government of Mizoram. We are 15 minutes behind. We also are expecting Most Honorable Chief Minister of Mizoram in the Assembly for the valedictory function. And so, since there are a few more participants who have suggested the names, but I would like to accord time to the last speaker before we wind up the discussions on the topic. So now I would like to give time to Honorable Shri Lal Manpua, MLA and advisor to the Honorable Chief Minister, Government of Mizoram.
Thank you, Speaker Sir. I will not take long time like Mr. Achumbe Mokikon. At the outset, I'd like to share the honorable legislator that I was one of the people who had taken initiative in the creation of this donor ministry, taking the issues with the central government. I would like to highlight the short history of donor. Initially, it was not named as donor. It was named Ministry for Northeast. When I was a vice chairman of the Northeast Students Organization, and when the previous speaker, Mr. Achumbe Mokikon, was the leader of the Naga Students Federation, we, the different students leaders of the students organization from the Northeast, under the Northeast Students Organization, met the leaders of the central government in July 2001. We met the NDA government headed by Atal Bihari Vajpayee in July 2001. One of our demands, several demands, was the creation of Ministry for Northeast. It was one of the main demands. The then Home Minister L.K. Advani strongly objected to the demands, saying it is not advisable to have a separateness, the sense of separateness by the people of Northeast, and you already have NEC. However, the PM Vajpayee agreed to our demands. The Ministry for Northeast was created after we returned to our respective states. I think it was September the same year. Arun Suri was allocated the ministry, and we were extremely content and happy with the creation of the ministry. However, the central government did not appreciate the Ministry for Northeast, and the name was changed to donor in the early 2002. Being one of the people who exerted pressure for the establishment of donor, I have been closely watching the functions of this ministry for years. When the Congress-led ministry is in the power at the center, they allocated the ministry to a minister from the region, Northeast region. While the BJP-led government is in the power at the center, they allocated the ministry to people from mainland. My personal opinion is that is in favor of merging the non-donor ministry with the NEC. The present NEC office in the Shillong should be used as the office of the director. And having proper link offices in each state of Northeast, and being strengthened by the central, as well as providing more funds. Thank you, Speaker.
Honorable distinguished delegates, that brings us to the end of the discussion on the topic of merging the Ministry of Donor with NEC for better strategic planning and coordination of various projects in the region. I once again want to thank all the participants led by honorable speakers and deputy speakers of respective state assemblies, including the honorable members of the Mizoram Legislative Assembly, for your participation and contribution in the plenary conference. On the topic of merging of donor and NEC, for the objective that we all have been discussing, It is a policy matter of the central government, as is made to understand. But much significance have come out of the discussions of the plenary conference, and we have come to understand the various difficulties and challenges that the Northeast region has to face when proper coordination and synchronization is lacking at the planning stage, and regional inclusivity is deficient in the preparation of policy matters. So in this regard, all the relevant points that all distinguished delegates have shared with this august House in the conference have been duly noted, as suggested by Honorable Advisor to Honorable Chief Minister of Nagaland, Honorable Shri Tompang Ozukam, yesterday in the plenary discussion, and as supplemented by many members today. We will be passing a resolution which will be before the conclusion of the CPA conference, 21st annual conference. And so during lunch, the CPA Secretariat will be preparing some draft resolution which will be presented in the House before the conference is concluded. Also, since it is the 21st CPA annual conference, we are sincerely thankful to all the distinguished delegates for your patience, for your contributions, for your participation. I personally want to thank all the honorable speakers and deputy speakers for the delegates that you have so graciously brought to the conference. It is very encouraging. It was the decision of the CPA India Region Zone 3 in the last Executive Committee meeting that we should encourage our fellow colleagues in the assemblies and encourage them to come and participate in such significant plenary conference discussions on topics that is pertinent for the socio-economic upliftment of our people, that is important for the collective progress of the region. And so I thank all the honorable members of respective state assemblies who have attended the conference. I hope you have also found new friends across all the states, and I hope that networking will benefit all of us in garnering collective support and sharing collective responsibility. Northeast region is so culturally diverse, and yet we are so unified. But the problems that we face, all of us, are uniform. The challenges of the terrain, the climatic condition, the challenges, the difficulties that we face it's a universal characteristics for all the Northeast states. And so we all face difficulties, we all face challenges when agencies apply the same yardstick for the Northeast region. And so it is our endeavor and concerted effort that in days to come and in the next conference, we will again undertake such pertinent topics that is beneficial for the development and progress of the Northeast region. And with that, we come to the end of the plenary session. I will adjourn the House now for lunch, which is graciously hosted by Shri Vanlal Lana, Honorable Minister, Parliamentary Affairs Department, Government of Mizoram. We'll meet after lunch. Thank you.